doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Looking good. You know, you were on one of my first shows I did, and you look better now than you did back then.
That was probably 15 years ago. We did a foundation replacement. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
We still throw that in there every once in a while, and you still do
it the same way.
Yeah. Well,
we found a good method.
That's for sure. And you've been doing all of the waterproofing for years, and you've done a ton of home improvement. And this basement right here is just kind of showcasing what you guys can do. And for the next few weeks, we're going to be looking through this whole install in this basement, because you know what? People aren't spending their money to go on vacation. They're spending their money to make sure they've got a nice place to live.
Oh, absolutely. And the space that's available, particularly in a one-story house in the basement, you can make it a big part of the house. And we found that out by being in the waterproofing business over the years, that once we waterproof them, that they're ready to be done.
Exactly.
And so we, little by little over the years, done more and more of them, and now it's a pretty big part of our business.
Well, something that we're going to talk about here in the next few weeks. Today we're actually going to talk about a macerating system for a toilet, for kind of an upflush toilet system, which is kind of the new craze. A lot of people are doing this for their basements.
Well, with the newer homes, with the way the sewer systems are set up in them, most of the homes don't have drains in the floor any longer, so you have to be able to get that sewage up to somewhere where it can get out, and it has to be pumped up. And so they have become a much more needed item because of the way construction's been changed.
Tom, this is my first question I'm going to ask you here, and I know we're going to go into all the drawings. You've computer generated this whole basement, and you guys have just done a wonderful job. And as we're really talking about it, any ideas that the homeowners can have, you can get it all computer generated and show it to them even before you start.
Yeah, and we do a lot of actually manual sketches as well. Yeah, what we try to do with the basement is make it fit into the whole house. We're looking at what the customer wants to do with the room downstairs, what kind of atmosphere they're looking for. They want to match the trim upstairs, so we want it to be like it's always been there. Right.
Well, my first question right here, as a homeowner and being a part of all of this, I see a lot of people do basements, and they're using normal drywall. This obviously isn't normal drywall. This is green wall, and very green wall. I don't think I've ever seen any of this green.
This is darker than I've seen in a while.
I mean, is this code now, or is this just one of the pluses that you guys do?
Well, it's code if you're in a bathroom, or a moisture area. No, it's not code in a basement, but we prefer to use it. It's a better product. It's not all that much more expensive, and it just gives you that extra comfort zone if you happen to have some moisture.
Sure. And that's the big thing people are asking when they're going to spend a lot of money in their basement. Gosh, what about the moisture problems? And that's going to really help you, because there is a chance of getting the mold in there.
Yeah, especially if basements can tend to get some higher humidity than the rest of the house sometimes, and so that solves that problem.
Okay. This is another thing here too. I noticed you've got your insulation in here, and how much insulation would you normally put on these walls?
We put an R13 in the walls.
Okay.
R13 with a 2x4 stud.
Okay, 2x4 studs here. Now I notice you've got the vinyl here too, and is this a code thing?
Yeah, the moisture barrier is a code thing.
You have to have that.
You should have it, and it has to be put in right. Yeah.
And this once again helps from a mold problem, and basically this basement seems to be dry as the bone. Yep. But with the weather, we're only going to be around till 2012 anyways, because the whole world is good with the weather.
One of the things I'd like to mention that you happen to bring up is about the code issue. And one of the things we do, and everybody that has any sort of home improvements done should make sure that the contractor pulls a permit. Okay, if they're in an area that requires a license. For example, we're in the city of Toledo, requires licensing. Most of the surrounding communities require some sort of registration as a company, but they all require that if you do any structural, plumbing, or electrical, that you have that municipality inspect your work to make sure it's done properly. Many contractors don't do it. We will not do a job without pulling permits.
Well, those are the people when they say, we'll give you a cash deal, run very fast.
Or they'll not necessarily, if you don't ever see an inspector come to your house.
Right.
They're going to come inside and look, and you want to make sure that that's done. That protects you as a homeowner. If you know that the electric's done right, that you're not going to have some issue down the road that's going to cause a fire, or that the plumbing was done improperly, that you're going to have some sort of issue with leaks later on in the project, 2 or 3 years down the road because they didn't do something right. Same thing with structural, that's all done right, so you don't have something moving and your drywall cracking because the contractor didn't follow the rules.
Well, that's really, and it's kind of peace of mind. And there's the TV shows like our TV show. We've talked about a couple of others on other stations where some of these contractors are going back in fixing everybody's mistakes.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to go through that, and it's much, you're insured, and you really do good work.
Yeah, and one of the other things you spoke about insurance is the other is workers' comp.
Yeah.
In the event you have a contractor in your house and he's got an uninsured employee in there or uninsured sub that doesn't have workers' comp, that can be an issue to the homeowners if they happen to get hurt on your property. Yes.
Never even thought about that. Tom, a lot of people in their basements, they want to have a full toilet system, and just what we were talking about, it's just not set up that way with the newer houses.
No, but there's a good example. If you take a look over there, there's the outgoing sewer line, and you can see it's a long way from the floor.
Oh my gosh.
So it'd be pretty rough to flush a toilet and have it get up there without some assistance.
And these upflush systems, you've seen them in the Popular Mechanics magazines forever, and you always just wondered how that works. But this is actually a step above that.
Yeah, this is a grinder system where literally the sewage goes when you flush the toilet. The sewage goes into this sump system down here. It's ground up and then pumped back into the sanitary line.
Okay. And with the system like this, I noticed we've cut out all of the concrete. The concrete's all been kind of taken out here. When you're done, this is all going to get all filled back in, and there'll be new concrete put in.
Yeah, it'll be all filled back in. There'll be new concrete. The sump system down here, the grinder system, is a sealed system, so there's no smell associated with it. It actually has its own vents that are going to go out. In this particular case, we have a garage right behind here, so it'll go out through the garage and up through the roof of the garage. It has to be vented on its own. It can't go into the house system.
Any maintenance on a system like this?
No.
Nothing. I mean, it's just going to work and work and work.
Yep.
Now, will this then all be encased in the concrete then too?
Well, there will be access, of course, to the top of it in the event there's ever a problem with it. It can be serviced. Okay.
Okay.
This is a closet we've built between the stool and the shower to set this in, and this will also give our homeowner here some storage space, a linen closet, but with plenty of access for the sump system in the event we have to get in at that grinder and do any work to it.
Toilet system right here where our camera's at right now.
Yeah.
And then you're actually going to have this will be a full shower system here then
This
too.
is a tub shower enclosure right here. The vanity is going to go over here. We've made this bathroom handicap accessible.
Perfect.
Just in the event that it's easier to do it now than to try to do it later. You never know what's going to happen in a house.
And they'll actually have space here that's just going to be behind the scenes space where they can store it.
This is a section of the basement that they chose not to remodel.
Okay.
So we're going to, of course, drywall it all off, put doors on it. So it's basically going to be storage space for them.
Perfect.
In the event they ever want to extend it and finish that off for whatever reason, it'll be easy to do.